Every day, we build the world around us.
But who's checking in on us?
Welcome to Built4Us.
It's a brand new podcast.
Built by construction workers, for construction workers.
It's our own honest space.
There's no scripts, there's no suits. It's just
Real talk about mental health, stress,
And showing up for each other.
Welcome back, everyone. Episode 14, Built4Us Podcast by construction workers, for construction workers. I am excited, very excited for this. Now, this is Ben. Ben has not only been in construction, he's then had office jobs, he's now a comedian, and he's good looking. And he's come on his podcast. This is his first podcast with us here at Built4Us, and I'm the first host. I am unbelievably excited. Now, if Ben can get a word in edgeways, we are going to be speaking about resting and healing from work and taking time out of the work, whatever work you're in, taking time out for us. So that's what me and Ben are going to be speaking about for the next 14 hours. No, I'm joking. The next 20 minutes, half an hour. Ben, great to have you on the podcast.
I'm so excited to be here. Like I say, it's a great vibe, and I'm looking forward to my first one. It's exciting, and what a great subject to start on.
Just amazing. Let's get straight into this, Ben. So, obviously, work. A lot of people work the fingers to the bone. Can't have any time off, and everything's too busy. Everything's too fast. And what they do is, and I'm a victim to, and I'll speak about this. I'm a victim of my own success, should we say, where they burnt the candle at both ends, not with partying and working, just working too much and then falling quite poorly. What's your take on it? What's your stance on that in your working career?
Yeah, exactly the same thing. When I was on the tools, it was being self-employed. So you're worried about money if you have time off, and even if you're late on the construction industry, you get belters from your mates and your bosses and stuff like that. So then when I moved into full-time employment rather than being self-employed, it was a case of it's built into you not to let anybody down. If you're going to be sick for any length of time, it's going to impact your customers, it's going to impact the business. They're going to look at you in a different way. It just puts all that sort of stress on you.
Yeah. What sales were you in, Ben?
I'm still in construction, so rather than being on the tools, I now hire the tools out.
Oh, mega. But it's still the same space,
full circle of construction.
Yeah, so you're still in the construction industry then? Amazing.
Yeah, still there. Like I say, we hire the tools out. We sort of do a lot of work in a lot of health and safety talks and stuff like that, really. So I'm still involved in it, and I've seen the progression from when I first started, which was, I don't know, nearly 30 years ago now, to when I go on sites now, the difference between it and the talks of safety and even mental health really on sites is getting looked at more, although it's not brilliant at the moment, it's still getting looked at more.
Yeah, of course. I've said that people that watch us and follow us, I say this a lot, it's nowhere near where it needs to be, but it's better than it was. But I do feel that we've just scratched the surface with the mental health and wellbeing side in construction. So let me ask you, how do you sort of take time off and wind down from work, and do you find that difficult?
I did. I mean, just recently, from my own experience, I just had I've been at my job 5 years. I'm one of the top salespeople in my job. So I feel like a lot of people depend on me with customers and stuff like that. And I was working, always the first to react to a phone, message, email, always wanted to be on top of everything. If a boss asked you to do something, I'd do it. And it was only just before Christmas, I wasn't feeling very well, and my missus noticed my mood was changing and I wasn't myself. So I went to the doctors to have a chat, and they said it might be good to go and speak to a counsellor. So I did that, and they just straight away, they said, you're burnt out, you're gone. The way they described it was, your battery is 20%, you're filling back up to 20%, and you think you're fully charged, but you're not. So I had to, I spoke, and they said to me, you need time off. And I said, oh, can you write me a note? And they said, I'm not going to write you a note, because you've got to be strong enough to tell your boss you need it, and it'll be a powerful thing for me, because I didn't want to do it. So I ended up speaking to my boss and having, I think it's about 3 weeks off work, but I was so scared about telling him. I was so scared about telling the company. I didn't know what they would say, what they'd think about me. My reputation might go. But in the end, they were really supportive. My boss was outstanding. So it although I braved it, I'm glad I did it myself rather than just getting signed off.
Of course. Yeah, of course. It's very, very difficult, especially with and speaking from experience, I can relate to you so much because we are the victim of our own success. We really, really are. And I was car sales. And when my health got bad in 2023, I said to my boss was actually a really good friend. And I said, I want to go part-time. And he just went, absolutely. They weren't, obviously, I was selling a week's worth of cars every single day. So they were like, James, you can do what you want. I had my own office. I started at 10 o'clock. I finished at 5:30. I drove the best cars.
Yeah.
I wasn't very popular with the other sales team because they go, why does he get all the privileges? Well, number one, he's very poorly. And number two, when you're selling 15 cars a week, then you can come back. But he's on it. James is on it. He works very hard when he's here. But unfortunately, he gets quite poorly and he has to have time off. So I went down to part-time. And all I did was, I was selling the same amount of cars, but I was selling the same amount of 6 days worth of cars in 3. I was just so burnt out. And it ended up that I actually had to go on the sick. And then actually 6 months later, I retired because the pressure was too much. It was having a massive effect on my health.
Oh, really?
And my well-being. But it's very, very hard for me because going back even further, when I was selling lots of cars, I've always been pretty good at selling cars. I've always been in the top 5 of the company for the last 15 years. Out of like 300 salesmen, I've always been in the top 5. In 2022, I became number 1 in the whole country. And I always went the extra mile in my working career. And I was speaking about this the other day. You know what, Ben? It's the one thing I regret in my whole working career of my cars was I never stopped. So I'd be on holiday and I'd be selling cars. I'd be in the hospital. I'd just come out of an operation. I'm still under anaesthetic. I'd ring the office. I've just sold 3 cars. It's crazy. I had no time off.
That's unbelievable.
Ex-partner, she would, because I'd be on the phone and I'd say, I'm just going to take this quick call. And she'd go, but it's not, is it? Because it's a 5-minute call, but then your head's elsewhere for 2 hours. And we're having food or we're somewhere. And I get it. I didn't at the time. I thought she was having a go, but I get it now. But even my new wife, my amazing wife, it's the same. It's been the same with her when I was in car sales, because we were still in car sales when I first got with her. And she'd say, we're on holiday. And I'd say, yeah, but it's only 10 minutes. And it's not, because my mind takes over. So that is the one thing I regret, not giving my family the full time.
Yeah, my wife was exactly the same. She noticed it before I did. And I'd be coming home from work, getting the laptop out, saying I'm going to spend a couple of minutes here and there. Before you know it, it's 10 o'clock at night.
It's not fair.
No, it's not. And you just don't get the time to relax. You don't enjoy your life, do you? You think it's fine. You think you're okay until you're not.
Definitely. So what's going to change for you now, having that time off at Christmas, that 3 weeks off? What's going to change for you now in the new year that's different? What's going to change from last year so you don't fall into that again?
Yeah, I'm much more open with my employees. I'm much more open with my boss. And I said to him, although I've had my counselling and I'm on medication, etc., I still might need to phone him and say, I just need a couple of days. Because I used to take my holiday to recover. And then I'd go on a holiday and you wouldn't recover. So I'd have a holiday, but then I'm not using my holiday for holiday sort of thing. I'd holiday because I didn't feel well. So I'm going to take proper holidays this year. I've explained to my boss a lot clearer how I work, how my head works, and how I need the downtime. Otherwise, I can't perform to the levels I want to perform at. So I've had a conversation with him properly. But what's good about it is caused a conversation within our team. And it's sort of brought up, look, guys, we're in a massive industry. It's a massive turnaround. It's constant. You need to have time for yourself. You need to spend time with your family. We're not rocket science here. We're not brain surgeons. It's sales. It's fine if you go away. You'll be there tomorrow, sort of thing. So they have been really good because, like I said, one of my things was I was letting everybody down, but you go away for 3 weeks, you come back the next day, nothing's changed.
Nothing.
It's made me feel better about being at work. It's made me feel more comfortable about talking about stuff and not worrying about myself, sort of thing, my head. I'm not worried about if I'm having a bad day or I'm really struggling. I can vocalize it better now. I know I'll be understood and listened to. So it takes that pressure off straight away, because the pressure on you to say, I can't have time, you just get yourself worked up and you get worse and worse.
So for people listening now, what you just explained there is massively important. If you're managing a team at work or you've got people under you, what I can just see from your explanation there, Ben, is obviously it's tragic that you've had 3 weeks off because you're burnout. You've gone back, you've then been honest with your boss and said, this is what is happening to me. I'm being dead honest with you. Hats off to your boss. He's gone, you know what, Ben? I really appreciate you speaking the truth. And all of a sudden, it's changed it. It's changed the culture. It's changed the dynamic of the team. So what's been your breakdown has then been a massive breakthrough, not only for you, but for all your colleagues. That's massive.
Yeah. And because it happened, they're talking to me more openly as well. And then people will say to you in the business, oh, I struggle myself. I had so many people say, oh, I had this last year. I didn't know how to cope with it. If you need someone you can talk to. There was someone we've got various depots. And when I come back, I went into the depot and I have a good relationship with him, but he called me into his office. He's one of our managers. And he said, Ben, look, I know we don't talk that much, but I had the same thing a couple of years ago. I had a real problem. I had no one to reach out to. I struggled alone. You need me, I'm here. And it's just nice to see people open up about it. I mean, it makes me a little bit teary now thinking about it.
Me too, because you've changed the dynamic of that. Sorry, you've changed the dynamic of your work there with what you went through. So, and it's just like going back to sort of with me with addiction. People say, oh, do you not wish that never happened? And I say, no, because it's made me the person I am today. I wouldn't be this person today if I hadn't gone through the deepest, darkest depths of addiction to be now helping people pull them through. And that's what you've done. That's exactly what you've done. And this is exactly what companies need to be doing. You see, the thing is, I've got an experience with when I was, now this is before all mental health, in 2005, I was open and honest with my work. I was working for Halifax Bank of Scotland in a call centre. And I was open and honest with them about my alcoholism, addiction problems. And the first thing they said to me was, how can we help? And I said, you could do this, this, and this. And they went, no problem, we'll sign you off. And they helped me. And,
That's incredible.
It's amazing. This is 21 years ago, before all the mental health stuff. But then the key for me, Ben, was I left and joined the Automobile Association, right? And I went back in addiction.
Yeah.
And I got the job there 6 months and I nearly got sacked on numerous occasions. Anyway, long story short, I was given a last chance and I got sober. And in that year I got sober. Obviously I was they did the same. They said, how can we help in your alcoholism? And I went, there's nothing yet, but if I do, and they'd give me the extra day off here and there when I was feeling a bit low. They recognised it. In that year, I became number one out the whole of the Northwest. I made them the most profit out the whole of the Northwest. They were using my sales calls in their training department. I was like the ideal employee. Now, I didn't do it. I didn't think, oh, I've got to be really good because they've shown me some love. It came automatically. So the point I'm making is these companies that think, because it's all to do with money, these companies think it's all about time. I ain't got time to help you. We've got deadlines and pressure, and we've got deadlines to hit, and it's obviously a lot of pressure. So we ain't got time for this. What these big companies don't realise is if they look after the well-being of their staff, like your company has, not only are you going to flourish like you already were, but probably even more so now, all your work colleagues are now going to flourish as well. So all of a sudden, they've invested the time and the people And now you're all becoming better at what you do because you know your company support you. It's mega.
Exactly that. And I totally agree, because even some of the top managers, they're a bit older than us and stuff like that. They're a bit different the way they speak to you, because they're not really sure, but even they're learning how to speak, how to deal with it differently. So it is a learning path, because no one's had to deal with it properly. So we're all learning, but you've got to speak to people like myself that are real passionate about mental health to get the answers for it. So people are asking questions, and even customers. When I got back, I was quite open about it with my customers, and then they talk about their stories, and it just brings you closer anyway. So you form better relationships with your customers.
Yeah, it is. It's a win-win all round. So, Ben, let me ask you this. Say we've got a listener now listening, and they recognise that they need to ask for some time off, but they're really worried, a bit like yourself, about having the chat to take the first steps.
Yeah.
Give us the advice. Give us some advice of what you tell that listener of how to approach it.
I would say be confident. It's not as scary as you think. And most companies, even if they're getting dragged into the future of mental health, most companies now have to respond to it correctly. There is support there. Obviously, it's what relationship you've got with your manager. Lucky I'm friends with my manager, but there should be mental health first aiders at work, your HR teams, anybody like that. They should have like a rule book or a playbook of how to handle someone that comes to them. And let's say no one's judged me any different. People they think I'm probably a bit stronger than I was. I've always sort of spoke about mental health, but never my own.
Yeah.
Speak to who you feel comfortable with, who's like above you that you can speak to. Don't be scared of it. And from my experience, like I say, it's not affected my work. It's not affected my customers, but it starts conversations for other people as well.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, I would say as well, just to add on to that, which is a great explanation. Definitely, they have to have policies now. They have to. The employee is protected, but you'll find that the majority of managers, you see, people don't know other people's battles. So I found in certain circumstances where people have gone to the managers and gone, listen, I'm not, just like I did. And you get the managers opening up going, you know what, I feel a bit shit sometimes as well. And you think, oh my days, because we just think it's us. But a lot of people are in the same boats. And then all of a sudden it strikes up a conversation. And then you both walk away going, you both feel a lot better. I mean, you've got to do something. So to the listener, don't put it off any longer. You have to do something, because if you don't, you as a person will only get worse. You're never going to get better. And then you'll have time off, and it'll be more than what your manager was going to give you. But you'll have time off through a sick note. My experience shows me that the majority of big companies, they do what well. They do. One, because they have to now. And two, because some of them can see the benefits in it. Not all, because there's ones out there that unfortunately don't care. And if they don't, and you approach them, and they sort of poo-poo you out the door, do you really want to be working for a company like that anyway? That's what I would say.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, that's the sort of mindset you've got to have, isn't it? Like it's more important than ever now, because, like I say, if I'd kept going and hadn't had time off, I would have, like my counsellor said, you would have had to have time off, because you would have been so sick you couldn't work anyway. You've done it the right way, you've communicated with them, and you can come back to work and flow into it easy, rather than having to end up in hospital or worse. You're just going to get worse without that time off.
Definitely. One little story that Tim was referring to before was, I was working for Volkswagen Bolton, where I worked, and my boss was called Johnny, and he knew I was one of the top sales guys. There was a few, to be fair, there was a few salesmen like me in the team. We were very good. Bolton was one of the top performers. He knew I worked hard, and we had an event on. They have these events Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday and stuff. And it was the following week, and I think it was a Wednesday, and he went, 40, you okay? was like, Johnny, I said, I'm just tired, mate. He went, you look tired. I said, I'm just tired, mate. I weren't sleeping properly. I was a little bit poorly. He went, have you got anything on this weekend? Because you're in this weekend. Any appointments? I went, I've got one, but it's a mate. Why? He went, take it off. Sorry, what? He went, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, off. Switch your phone off. Don't answer customers, because customers had my personal numbers and they bring me at home. Switch your phone off. Do not answer any calls. Spend time with your missus. Come back on Tuesday, fighting fit. I went, are you sure? He went, do it. I come back on the Tuesday, ready to go. I think I sold him 10 or 12 cars in 4 days in this event. I think more, it might have been more actually. And he was buzzing because he knows for it. I'm going to give you time to rest. Make sure you do. But then do us a favour. Smash it out of the park for me when you come back next weekend. No problem at all. That's great management.
Yeah. So my boss is always telling me, because I used to go, I'm on a holiday, I'm all this. He said, I said, why are you picking up your phone? Turn your phone off when you're on holiday. Because you feel like you have to work all the time.
Awful, so bad. So to our listeners now, Ben, give me your summary. Give me your summary on people about needing rest and what we've just spoke about. Just give me your summary on it.
Summary is one of the best things I ever did. I feared it for nearly my whole working life. I feared having time off when I wasn't sick, but I knew I needed rest. I've never done it. It's the best decision I made. My wife sent me a text message, I think yesterday, saying it's so nice to have my husband back. And I didn't realise how deep it had gone. So it's one of the best decisions I ever made. It's made me feel so much better and made me feel less pressured at work and worrying about what people are thinking, because they can see it anyway. Like your boss said, you look tired, have the time off. You can see it. It's clear as day on your face. And the way I used to type emails, my boss said, what are you typing on that email? It makes no sense. And he was like, what's the matter? I said, I'm just knackered. Like I say, I'm knackered. So to summarise, really, just look after yourself. You've got to look after number one. You've got to put work in perspective, because it is just work at the end of the day. We all need money. It's tough out there, but it is just work. And you can't work when you're sick anyway. So prioritise your mental, physical health and speak to the right people, because they will have something in place for you.
Amazing. With somebody speaking about the right people, if any people now are listening to this podcast, please leave a comment, whether you're on any one of the platforms. Leave a comment if you want to speak to any of us. Put the name in. We will come back to you and speak to you on a one-to-one basis. Myself or Ben, we've got experience around this. If you need help and a little bit of guidance, this is exactly what we're here for. So please, please, please get in touch. All the credentials will be across the bottom. Ben, mate, it's been mega.
Thank you ever so much.
Absolutely mega. Thank you so much for coming on. And I can't wait to do the next one with you. Thank you, everyone, for watching, listening to Built4Us Podcast by construction workers, for construction workers. Proudly powered by JT Motive.
Thank you ever so much.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for viewing this episode. We really appreciate your support. Remember, follow us, subscribe, share with a mate, join us live. Built4Us. Let's build something stronger together.